Welcome to Direction Northeast. Hello, I'm Katie Parks. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College. This episode of Direction Northeast will take you to the northwest corner of the Ivory Coast for some traditional African song and dance. We'll meet our guest and start our discussion following these messages.
My name is Ann Ravel. I'm an actress, and I got my start at Northeast State Community College. Just as acting truly allows me to express myself and learn new things about myself, my whole experience at Northeast State has allowed me to do that. I've found new interests, new hobbies, new passions that I would have never known had I not come here. Northeast State gave me a quality education, amazing friendships, but most importantly, it allowed me to discover who I want to be.
Our guests are part of the Kichinya Dance Company. In their performance and workshops, audiences can experience West African culture through drumming and dance with colorful costumes, traditional native masks, and captivating tribal rhythms and songs. Bado Diomande and Rachel Lyman, welcome to Direction Northeast.
Thank you.
Now tell us, how did the Kichinya Dance Company get started?
Kichinya Dance Company got started in the Ivory Coast. Before Kichinya, I was in a national company. We call National Ballet National. In French, Ballet National. But here they say National Ballet. When I was young, little, my father had a mask called Pelou. It's a tall mask. So we was this mask is going. It's a break like between death and living. Every time we celebrate, we dance with that. And I was saying before when I was young, I said I'm not going to come anywhere. I will stay with the mask in the village. But one day, National Ballet looking for people. That was in 1974. So they told us to compete. We have competition. It's a lot of, we from Mau people, ethnic group called Mauka, on the northwest Ivory Coast. That day we have like 17 village come with them Thomas competition. We compete and the National Ballet looking for a dancer. So the 17 they take two group, two village, my village and other village, and we have to do it again the following year. We go to different city to compete again. I was when there my people were supposed to come to do the National Ballet. And when I come to National Ballet, I do 15 years with the National Ballet. I tour everywhere and go back home. And I started Kichinya 1989. So Kichinya, I do 5 years in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. One day there was something here. It was Memphis May. This Memphis May. I don't know what city right now, but it was Memphis May. We bring our company, all Ivory Coast. We have 100 people come together to perform in Memphis. And we do 15 days here. And when I was going back, that was the 1994. So that's the way when we get here, I say I will stay here. I will try to teach people with my the way I teach African dance. I want to teach my culture here to people. So that's why my nephew Sogbety. Sogbety was with me that day. He came with me in the company. When we finish, I send them back home. I say, when I get here, if I see it's okay, I will bring you back. So they go back, they come. I make them come after 4 years. They come back, and two nephews. They both is here. One is in Ohio, one is in Cincinnati.
Now, Rachel, tell us, how did you get started with the dance group?
Well, I'm from a small town originally in Washington State called Walla Walla. And I did ballet as a little kid. And when I went away to college in Ohio, actually, there was a West African dance program at my school. And since I felt very small town and I wanted to do something worldly, I took this West African dance class and really fell in love with it. It was mostly Nigerian Yoruban dance, but I went and studied abroad in Mali, West Africa, and I loved that. So when I graduated, I came to New York and just very luckily found Vado's drum class at a dance center in Brooklyn, New York, and started drumming with him. And then he happened to be having auditions for his company soon thereafter. And so I auditioned for his company, and since Vado is a very inclusive person, he welcomes everybody of all ethnicities and nationalities and races to come and dance and learn about the Ivory Coast and to do those dances and the songs.
Now, once you started sharing your music with American audiences, what surprises did you find when you performed?
I find because a long time ago, my people, nobody know about them here. So I want the people to know about what we have in my culture. So if I see anyone doing anything with that, I'm happy for it. So I want, this company is like anybody in the world. If I see you can work, I can teach you something to make same thing like I do. So I'm happy when I see people doing with me.
What challenges have either of you faced? Rachel, you can answer this one. What challenges have you faced in trying to share this culture?
Well, I can say at least that there's just a lot of complexity and there are a lot of misunderstandings in terms of what, I mean, people don't realize that Africa is a huge continent and that within every country in Africa there's a lot of diversity. So even just in the Ivory Coast, there's a lot of diversity from region to region, and there are a lot of different dances, and there's a lot of different music. And so to get that across to people that there's a lot of complexity, you know, when you're showing these songs and dances, and that the dances themselves have a lot of meaning and history and, you know, tradition behind them. The word tradition is hard to talk about with people because it's such a different culture.
Now, Vado, tell us, what is the significance of dance in the West African culture?
What?
What does, tell us
again?
about your dances in the culture.
Yeah, dance for me is something, when I'm very sick, if I can walk, I start to do one step, I feel like I got a medicine already. So dance for me is like a medicine. When I do anything, it makes me more strong. I don't know, people remember last time, how many years ago? 6 years, 8 years ago, I was sick, drum making. They say, this guy had anthrax. And everybody was talking about it everywhere. They say, you can die today, tomorrow. That was 2006. when doctor told me, I told everybody you cannot live anymore. But I don't know what happened. So this thing, that was from dancing, because I know how to dance, how to breathe. When you tired, how to breathe to be fine. So someday I cannot breathe. I used to do little. If we do big, you finish. But I said that to now because now my mouth, the mask I'm talking about it. When you sleep like that, you see him under your head. So that's why I like how to be downstairs.
Rachel, tell us about some of the uses for your different costumes in your performances.
The costumes, I don't.
Such as the mask, like he was talking about.
Well, the mask is less a costume and more a phenomenon. The mask is a spiritual and religious element that goes way beyond just costume. Like the dancers, when we get on stage, we dance, we do costume changes, to keep it lively so you can see all the color and the, fringe and the frou and all that stuff. And so that's fun, and that, is part of the culture though too, to have all that. But the mask itself is, you don't just put on a mask. Vado inherited the mask that is part of this company through his family lineage. And that's how masks are passed down. You don't just pick up the mask. It's got its own significance, and you inherit it through your family. And it's a mediator between the world of the living and the dead. So it brings spiritual messages, messages from the other side. When somebody puts the mask on, they're not themselves. They're the mask.
We have a video actually of you performing with of the West African dance troupe. I think it's the Sogbety dance group. We have a video of them performing. If you could just tell us what is going on in this performance as we watch this video. This could be some of the costume that you see, the mask is portrayed, and of the dance that is being showed. Now, during these dances, is there a story being told during these dances?
Yes.
Any dance that y'all perform.
Well, this particular dance.
This is we call Zawuli.
Zawuli.
Zawuli
Yes.
mask.
Now, what about the purpose in these dances? Are they telling, like I said, a story, or what is it like while the drums are playing?
Well, to look specifically at Zawuli, Zawuli is about a woman, right?
Yeah.
A woman who's a very fine dancer.
And
That's the figure.
That woman passed away, and they make. You see this guy on the
He's
video?
one of the, yes.
Okay. So
Zawuli is a dance in honor of a woman who's become a kind of archetypal figure, who's a very, very fine dancer. She represents fine dancing, right? She's the best dancer in the land.
she was the best dancer, and they make a mask who looking nice like her. And that's why the Zawuli comes from.
Now, back to the drums. Why are drums so prominent in West African culture? What do they mean to you?
The drum?
Yes.
Drumming mean a lot of things, because like today, we have a cell phone everywhere. You got a computer. That for us is drum first. Before we start speak anything, you take your drum first. If you hit drum, I call people, like I'm calling your number. You hit drum. If we have a meeting, we have to meet somewhere. we play drum. Come. Come here, everybody. Come together. This side. Come. They play and call people. That's drum me like that. And we start music with that to make people. When you start horn, you come. People play drum for you. You're happy. You forget.
Could you play the drum for us a little bit right now?
I try.
You can communicate with us.
We call this a beat. Samara.
Now, how is African drumming different from percussion or drums found in other cultures, such as here in the United States?
I think everybody have a different way to think about that. My way, if we in West Africa, everybody starts same way, but every country have a different beat. And my own country, we have 63 different ethnic groups. When everybody come together, everybody play for them, so you cannot understand. Me, right now, I was in the National Ballet for 15 years, so I had to know from all culture, from everybody. That's why I put different things from every culture together. Now I understand this part is from this part is this. Sometimes we play different music, but the both sides mean together. It means same. Like I say, this is a initiation dance from Mau people. We call Bade Malon, right? Initiation Bade Malon. You're gonna go. The beat go. Everybody has to try to with me, right? So the beat go Bade Malon. You go. Now we're gonna go to 74 people. They're gonna come with Ngoro. They come. So that's the beat. Or the both beat mean same thing. This is Mau people. This is 74 people. So we cannot understand if you don't put things together and ask a question. Some beat mean same thing, but they don't present same way. So that's why I say, for me, every different ethnic group, their way to show anything is right for them, good for them. I don't know everybody understand my English? Because English is my fifth language, really.
Now,
So I don't understand English very well. But if we hear something good, so that's why she's here. If you don't get anything,
now, Rachel, what differences do you see in West African drumming versus percussion here in the United States or other cultures?
Well, I'm more of a dancer than a percussionist. So I've done a little bit of Haitian drumming as well as some of the Ivorian drumming. But I mean, when it comes to the United States versus drum traditions from anywhere in the African diaspora, I think it's a question of the place that the drum has in society. In America, you have a lot of drums that's just, it's secular. It's for entertainment. It's like rock and roll. I mean, that has its own spiritual place, I guess. But in a place like the Ivory Coast or in Haiti, two places that I know well when it comes to that, there's much more, again, there's a religious purpose. There's a spiritual purpose, as well as a community purpose. So you drum and you dance as part of community celebrations, as part of rites of passage, rituals, and then for religious ceremonies as well.
How can we help to preserve these traditions, songs, and dances for future generations?
You want to address that?
That's why we.
Either one, yes.
That's why we showing people to be doing it every time. When my son comes today, he can show the way I do. So every time somebody there to keep doing. That's why we have to show everybody.
Do you see a change in West African music, maybe heading toward a different direction?
Sometimes, but it going different direction because some steps we're doing today on the stage, we didn't do that on the stage before. So the village way, when the step, maybe I'm doing some steps today, you can see here, when you see in the village, they can look small. They don't move hard. And when you move it to the stage, you have to show people more big to people to see it. And traditionally, they do something small. And when I get here, I see everybody going higher, higher. So you try again, same movement, you go a little bit more high.
Can I talk about that a
That's
little
why
bit?
that's changing.
Well, just to elaborate on that, because I think what Vado is talking about is the difference between, like when he talks about the national company in the Ivory Coast, that company was formed in order to take all of these dances that are in different villages that some people in, like Abidjan, the capital, might never see because it's off in some rural village. And so sort of cultural ambassadors from the national company would go around and kind of collect these big dances that were performed in different communities and set them for the stage. So they were taking them out of their cultural context and putting them on the stage. Where
if you know on the stage, some people living in Africa, they cannot see those dances too.
Right. So there are some dances, even if you're from the Ivory Coast, you might never see a dance that's from, this little tiny town or whatever. And so this is a way to make it more accessible. But that also changes the dances too. So dances that might otherwise just be performed by old people in the village, like doing a little hoedown in the circle, is suddenly on the stage. And it's getting changed to be more flashy.
They have to be higher, so.
To be more of a spectacle.
That's why I think the thing changing a little bit, changing.
So it does
but
change.
They say have all the time some people born in the village, they say they can order anything. They have a same thing there. So I live with some people there. When I go back, I see same step. I'm doing it big now. They doing that same step small. So when we get there, I do small same way. When I come here, I do my way a little bigger.
Now, do you see any similarities in the festivals we have here in the United States to your group gatherings in West Africa?
Yeah. We got a lot of things here. We have Africa now. Yeah, everything can be gang too in the city side.
What kind of stories do you tell or pass down, or that you would like to pass down for future generations through your dance and your music?
I want to tell everybody to don't forget where you from.
Don't forget where you're from.
Don't
Your
forget
roots.
what your parents are doing.
Mm.
So anything all the people doing, don't forget that.
Mm.
You can do your improvisation, but don't forget where you're from.
Mm.
So that's the way I want to tell people to follow that.
Mm.
So
There's
you see the mask I have today, I'm the first one in the Africas to put this mask in the stage. I never come to the stage before. So that's why I say it's changing, the thing changing.
this mask that is that Vado's that's going to be performed tonight on the stage was before Vado just relegated to the realm of the spiritual stuff. It was not performed. It was all part of, you know, a religious kind of ceremony. But Vado took the mask and set it to the stage and made it accessible for people to see
I don't find it not
in the performance. What's
So
that?
that's why now I want the people who live in here to see what we do in Africa, and we can do the same thing here. American people, I want to take them to show what they do here to my village. So next year coming, I want to bring all students to go to perform my village, and my village can perform for them. So
We actually have a clip of you dancing. We could show that right now. Thank you. We'll be back in just a moment.
My name is Amanda Broom. I'm a mass communications graduate. I work behind and in front of the camera, and I got my start at Northeast State.
My name is Brad Ketcherin. I'm a registered nurse, and I got my start at Northeast State.
My name is Ann Rowell. I'm an actress, and I got my start at Northeast State Community College.
Get your start at Northeast State. Visit northeaststate.edu to register for classes. No matter where you're going, Northeast State is here to get you there.
That concludes the program for today. We talked about West African dance and listened to the music of the Kichinya Dance Group. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at a few of the subjects they find important. Until we meet next time, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of Northeast State Community College, I'm Katie Parks, and this is Direction Northeast.